Help, I have a sweet tooth. That's what I would be saying to myself so many times in the past. Having a sweet tooth was definitely the reason why I was obese. So do you know how some people will say that they're more interested in snacking on sugar and breads and candy and chocolate, and then other people say they like salty foods and pickles and chips and pretzels and salted nuts. So it sort of seems like people fall into those two camps where you either like savory foods or, the sugar. So I was definitely someone who loved sugar. Cinnamon buns, chocolate chip cookies, those were my two biggest weaknesses. Brownies, chocolate bars, hard candies, not so much. But other people, definitely that can be something that they find that they like to snack on. So having a sweet tooth for me goes way back to before I have memories, before I ever went to school. My mom loved to bake. And so every breakfast we had fruit. We had homemade granola. We had preserved fruit that we had canned in the fall in, sweet syrup. We had dried fruit. I remember her making a fruit soup. It was like, I think it was plums or something, and it was warm. She'd make pancakes and waffles and muffins and coffee cake and a homemade cheesecake, which was made out of cheese, cottage cheese. These are all things we'd have for breakfast. And then lunch, we would have a sandwich or whatever, and there'd be a dessert. There'd be homemade granola bars or cookies. And then for supper, my dad loved desserts, so we'd have our main meal, and then we'd always have a dessert after every single supper. So every single meal we had sugar. My mom would buy these huge, the largest bag that you could buy of white sugar, because we cooked all of our own food. We lived in a log cabin in a rural area, so we weren't like right close to the town or a city. So anyways, we cooked everything from scratch. I learned how to bake at a very young age. And so my sweet tooth, I didn't choose to be born into that family. I didn't choose that, but that was my reality. So sugar from a very young age meant comfort. It meant making other people happy. I took a cake decorating course, so then I was baking and decorating cakes from the age of 12 onwards. So that's sugar, sugar, sugar. Making people happy with sugar. Very much a part of my life. And so giving that up has been hard. The last cake I decorated was a year ago, I think. And maybe I'll decorate cakes in the future. I'm not going to say I'll never do it again. But it's something I'm weaning myself off of to get, to make people happy with the sugar that I bake for them, or sugary foods that I bake for them or cook for them. And for myself, saying I don't have a sweet tooth anymore, saying I'm a recovering sugar-aholic, sugar addict, carb-aholic, carb addict, whatever. I'm recovering from it. Because it was an addiction for me. And the more sugar I had in my system, the more I craved it. When I really took this seriously and I took sugars out of my cupboard, I took all the things that were tempting me, took them all out of the cupboard, put them in a storage room, took them out of my fridge. I would look in my grocery cart when I was shopping and make sure I didn't have foods that were tempting in there. It made it a lot easier. And then I got over my sugar addiction, and I just have to keep those habits in place, and I'm fine. So like and share this video if you want, and comment below. Thanks so much for watching.